Good afternoon. Sorry, I've had some few technical hitches today, and I do hope that you shall get this audio and you shall engage in our class. I do hope also that you're able to get through the previous lesson in topic 1, and in case you have any queries, kindly raise them, because we didn't manage to have a live class because you had not enrolled yet for the course. Now, in this second topic, basically we focus on health education. And when we talk about health education, we simply mean the process by which individuals and people, a group of people, learn to 1, promote, 2, maintain, and 3, restore their own health. Remember when we introduced the course about hygiene education, we said that basically when you talk about issues to do with health promotion, it's those activities, those strategies that have been laid down so that we can be able to achieve good health amongst people. We said that it's a process of enabling people to increase control over and to improve their own health. So, and we said that one way to achieve this is through health education. So with health education has these three major parts: promotion, maintenance, and restoration of health. Health education has been again broadly defined as the process that informs, motivates, and helps people to adopt and maintain healthy practices and lifestyles, advocates environmental changes as needed to facilitate this goal, and conducts professional training and research to the same end. Health education, according to Grimm in 1980, mentioned that it's a combination of any planned learning opportunities aimed in facilitating, influencing, or maintaining health. And the third one is the one that has been really broadly used, that definition or that dimension. Now, what are the qualities of a health educator? Now that we are saying that they're going to be planned learning opportunities, they're going to be organized efforts aimed at facilitating, influencing, or maintaining health. The first quality of a health educator is that you must love learning, that is acquire knowledge, must have passion, that is be understanding also, as in, as you say, you must love learning or acquire knowledge, you should be someone who will go out of your way to research, to get more information about issues, so that by the time you go to educate people, you have a lot of information, and when they ask you questions, you have relevant feedback to most of those questions. Then passion is like, you should be passionate about your work, you should be self-driven, you should be someone who is able to infect others with joy, happiness, with that the passion, the drive that pushes you to do things the way you do, and also passion in terms of issues to do with health, so that you motivate these other people to aim at improving their health, promoting, and also restoring. Then be understanding, you need to listen to people, understand their different cultures, be able to accommodate them, you don't be judgmental. Then have excellent communication skills, you should be very audible, you should be able to be a good communicator, you should be able to communicate as you listen to them, because communication needs feedback. And that is why, even for this in terms of learning, we need feedback from you. That is why we need to have a live class, so that we can talk, we can engage, we can discuss, and in case there's any question, if there's anything that we've not understood, you ask. Then you need to be committed, you need to be sold out, not to be pushed, you need to be focused, you need to be self-driven, and be there, be available, and be ready to work. Maybe now we can look at health education versus health promotion. So remember, we've looked at health education and we mentioned that it is a combination of learning experiences designed to facilitate voluntary adaptation of behavior conducive to health. So with this definition, basically it implies that all possible channels of influence on health are appropriately combined and designed to support adaptation of behavior. And the term voluntary, if you're saying that voluntary channels. It has to be voluntary adaptation. The word voluntary is significant for ethical reasons, so that it's not something like it's forced. You can't force people to change. You'll give them relevant information, you'll give them the pros and cons over issues, but you can never force them to change. So it's upon them to make use of the information, change their attitudes and eventually practices. This means that educators should not force people to do what they don't want to do. That is all effort should be done for people to help people make decisions and have their own choices. And when we say that it's a combination of learning that has been designed means planned, integral, intended activities, rather than just causal that is not happening to that just happening incident or trivial experience. So they have to really be planned, organized, they have to be streamlined, they have to be intended, quite intentional. Now, that is about health education, not about health promotion. Health promotion, we say that it's any combination of educational, organizational, economic, and environmental support for behaviors and conditions of living conducive to health. Remember, we said that when you talk about education, we said combination of learning experiences that have been designed to facilitate voluntary adaptation of behavior conducive to health. But now with promotion, there are a combination of educational, organizational, economic, and environmental support for behaviors and conditions of living conducive to health. Now with health promotion, it's a widely used term to encompass various activities like behavior and lifestyle, preventive health services, health protection, directed at the environment, health-related public policy, and also economic regulatory measures. So you'll find that basically health education is the primary and dominant measure in health promotion. So you want to see how effective health promotion is? Show me the health education. Show me the learning experiences that you designed and you're to carry out so that you help people voluntarily adapt to behavior change that is conducive to their health. So we've looked at the introductory part, health education we've defined. We've looked at the qualities of a good health educator. We've looked at health education versus promotion, and now I want to look at the aims of health education. What is the focus of health education? What is the importance? What are the goals of health education? Why would you come up with the learning experiences that are designed to facilitate voluntary adaptation of behavior that is conducive to health? Why? One of the aims is that it is to develop a sense of responsibility for health conditions as individuals, as members of families, and also community, to develop a sense of what? A sense of responsibility for health conditions. So it's basically focusing on both individuals, family members at large, and also communities in a broader sense. So health promotion of health, prevention of health and diseases, and also early diagnosis and management falls under this, so that it's the responsibility of you as an individual to go for medical checkups. When did you last go for a medical checkup in a health facility? Like you present yourself to the doctor, you're not feeling, it's not like you have a pain anywhere. It's not like you have any headaches, you don't have any stomach aches. It seems like all is well. But then with that, you present yourself to the health facility and tell the doctor, what, I've come so that I have a medical checkup. I would want to have my blood tested, my urine tested, and any other organ in my body so that we rule out if I have any disease condition. Right now, I'm not in pain, I don't have any symptoms, but I would want this to happen because actually it's our obligation, individual obligation, to have medical checkups at least twice a year, every 6 months. But rarely do we do that. Do we even have time to do that? I don't know. Do you have resources, money to do this? I'm not sure. So it's required, but sometimes it's not very practical. But it's important for people to take precautions so they can go, even when they have those simple signs and symptoms, they can go so that we have early diagnosis and it could prevent detrimental health effects that could arise later. Another aim is to promote, the second aim is to promote and wisely use the available health services. We need to promote the usage of services so that people go to the health facilities, people are able to report, people are able to go there once they present the symptoms, signs, or even people within their family, the family members. The community at large, when it's been informed, when people are knowledgeable and they know the benefits of getting to health facilities and medical attention, then we shall discourage the self-medication that is so common among our populations. Again, to be part of all education and to continue throughout whole span of life. So we want to be part of education, like with the new research that is coming up, with the new knowledge that is being created, and just being healthy throughout our lifespan from childhood to the old age. Then the fourth aim is to help people understand that health is the most valuable community asset. Remember that when a community is ill, you can't be able to do much. Whom will you engage to do the road constructions, digging the toilets? Whom will we engage in our hospitals to treat us because everyone is sick now, including even the doctors and the nurses? Whom will we use in terms of building our houses and doing other things, farming, So we need to help people understand that health is the most valuable community asset. Another thing that we need to aim at to develop scientific knowledge, attitude, skills on health matters. To help people develop correct habits, we need to give them the right information, the relevant knowledge, so that they are equipped to this knowledge and they are able to change their attitudes, the relevant skills to cope up with life and help others on matters related to health, so that they can be able to develop the correct living habits. The aim is to which may have direct of disease in different cultural setting. By this, it means that different cultures do have different ways of living. Look at communities that probably don't embrace like boiling milk. They keep doing unboiled milk, like commonly is right now fading away slowly, but some people still do. Remember when you take unboiled milk from the cow, if the cow has some infection like mastitis, you are likely to get infected, especially with brucellosis. It's common from the meat and the milk. So we need to educate such communities so that they are able to address and know more about how to go about if their culture and at the same time to have their own health. The seventh objective or aim of health education is to help people achieve health by their own actions and efforts. To achieve health by their own actions and efforts. Every individual know that whatever they do is likely to bring about some consequences. It could be positive or negative. So you do negative things that to bring about consequences. If you plant a mango seedling, you only expect to get mangoes as fruits at the end of the day. If you get oranges, you'll be shocked even by yourself. So we need to help know that if you eat healthy diets, you live a sedentary lifestyle, eventually what you're going to reap is overweight, obesity, and the lifestyle conditions such as diabetes, the cardiovascular diseases. You're likely to get hypertensive, and even the cancers are brought by such. Okay, then to create interest, the aim of health education, to create interest in people of their own health and well-being, to create interest in people of their own health and well-being. Let people have an interest about themselves. Develop that personal responsibility of seeking appropriate medical care, timely, not observing. Most women or most people like, hey, I'm feeling pain here and here. I'm having a severe headache, but let me observe and see if maybe it's I didn't take enough water or it's just some strain. Sometimes you just go to hospital, get checked up, and you may avoid many other negative consequences that could arise. Okay, the ninth aim is to create in people interest for the health of other members in the family and community. So once you've created interest in you, then you'll also be on the lookout to your neighbor, because you already understand that health is an important asset, a very important asset of the entire community. So we'll want to be on the lookout to help others. You find a mother who wants to give a child who is a month old food, you'll be able to discourage this mother and tell the mother, because we are now aware, you'll tell the mother, oh no, it's not good for you to start early complementary feeding, because it's likely to bring other disease conditions to the child. The child may remain underweight, the child may start having stomach problems, the child may, give all those disadvantages of early complementary feeding. And try and drum support for breastfeeding, continued breastfeeding up to 2 years. Like mentioned, the benefits of breastfeeding, like to the mother, it's natural contraceptive. As long as she's on exclusive breastfeeding for those 6 months, it's a natural contraceptive. The milk is readily available. It doesn't have to be bought. You don't have to use like containers. The baby will just suckle. It's readily available. You don't have to keep preparing when the baby is hungry. You give benefits both to the child and the mother. Tell the mother that what, this milk has all the nutrients the baby needs, and it has immunoglobulins that help promote the health of the baby, help to boost the immunity of the baby. As you do that, this mother will listen and then may retreat from that behavior, that action that she was doing. So it's important to create interest for the health of other members in the family and other community. Then 10, another aim is to create in people a desire to support health education programs. Let them be supportive, so that when there's a reason and maybe there's some community work that needs to be done, they'll readily avail themselves, be ready to offer help, be ready to offer manpower, be ready to offer resources in terms of the equipment needed, be ready to offer resources. It could be in terms of money, because some community members could be better endowed with some finances that could help in a project that is related to health. So let them be able to design, support, participate in health related programs within the community. Another aim is to provide people with the appropriate knowledge to enjoy decent health. Let people get informed, and once people are informed, they're likely to change their attitudes, their negative attitudes, and adopt better practices that are likely to help them become better people. So with this, it will help to provide people with appropriate knowledge to enjoy decent health, so that throughout their lifespan, throughout the health, they're able to cope, they're able to understand, they're able to live healthily on a day-to-day basis. They're able to enjoy healthy food, nutritious food that is available within their marketplaces, that is seasonally available, because now with food, you go with what's available in the seasons. Then the last aim is to provide people with appropriate knowledge to prevent occurrence of disease, so as to adopt relevant preventive measures. So once people have again this appropriate knowledge, they'll be able to prevent occurrence of diseases, because they are now aware that when I do this, it is likely to result in this. If I have sex without protection, I'm likely to acquire STIs and HIV/AIDS. If I eat unhealthy diets, I'm likely to end up on the other side of the coin, where we have obesity, we have overweight, that are likely to predispose to diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, cancer, kidney diseases, and such like. So as to adopt relevant preventive measures. So are you cool about the aims? Are you okay? Do you have any question on this? If in case you have, let me know as we connect further through the live engagement. Okay, now we want us to look at the process of health education. How does health education happen? Usually, the process of health education is the dissemination of scientific knowledge. Dissemination is like giving out. When we offer the information that we have, dissemination of scientific knowledge that is about how to promote and maintain health. And this leads to changes in CAP related to such changes. CAP is knowledge, attitude, practices, KAP, CAP related changes. So we have several steps to awareness in terms of adopting to new ideas and practices. The first one is awareness, whereby we know about new ideas. Like you're able to know that if I eat a lot of the HFSS, that's the high fat, salt, sugar diets, I'm likely to end up getting the lifestyle conditions. I'm likely to get overweight. Because why? Why is this? Because you find that once you have knowledge about nutrients and about the energy that each kind of food carries, then you'll be careful every time you eat. You wouldn't want to eat excess of the energy so that you don't become overweight or obese. For example, with the knowledge that 1 gram of carbohydrate yields 4 kilocalories, 1 gram of protein also yields 4 kilocalories, whereas 1 gram of fat yields 9 kilocalories, 9, a difference of a whole 5 from these other two. So if it yields 9, that means that is a lot of energy. If you eat a lot of deep fried foods like chips, beer, which else do you know as a deep fried food? Yeah, it could be fried meat, it could be fried fish. As you consume such, we are likely to do a lot of salt addition. So there is fat and there's also salt there already. Yeah. So with that, you're likely to add on weight and predispose yourself. And remember, with raw salt, it's also a high risk cause of hypertension. Then what about the sugar? Sugar is likely to trigger also other diseases, especially diabetes, excessive of sugars, or excessive of intake, overeating, maybe of sugary meals or the starches. So once you are aware, you'll have those new ideas and you'll be cautious so that you adopt and change your practices. Interest is where one seeks more detail. Sometimes you go out of your way to seek more information about an issue. Yes, I could have mentioned about the HFSS diets, the high fat salt sugar diets. Go ahead and research more about this. What are the detrimental effects that it could bring? Then evaluation, whereby you check the advantages versus disadvantages and testing the usefulness. You try to find out if I leave out this and I do this, how will I benefit at the end of the day? How will this be like? Then trial decision, put into practice. The fourth step of adopting new ideas and practices, whereby now you try it out, you decide to practice, to put it into practice, and you exercise it. If you've not been exercising every day, you are taking a motorbike, the motorbikes are now all over the borders. You are light from the matatu, you're already taking a motorbike, maybe it's a distance of just about 2 or 3 kilometers away. You can walk. It could be a distance whereby you can only cover about 15 to 20 or 30 minutes. Leave alone that motorbike. Shuka, tembea, alight and walk. Do what we call brisk walking, provided it's safe for you, it's not late in the night. So it's always important that we don't promote laziness. We try as much as we can to ensure that we exercise bodies, because probably we spend a lot of time at the workplace or even at school while being a bit physically inactive. So it's important to engage in a physical activity, walking, and even carrying a few stuff here and there, ensuring that you're okay. Then lastly is adoption, whereby now the person feels new ideas is good and adopts it. So right now, I know that we are working on this, and every time you educate people, expect them to take a while maybe to change. That those will change immediately, but change doesn't happen with a snap of a finger. Sometimes it may take a while. It is said that it takes about 3 months for people to change, even in terms of their behaviors and such, characters and such. So even in terms of food, remember this could be a habit that someone has had for many years. So you wouldn't expect the person to change within a day or within a week. Some could actually, depending on what they mean, could actually aim at that, but then sometimes it's not that easy. Look at someone who wants to quit smoking. What happens to such a person? Is the person really, he's willing? Most of the smokers actually are men. I know you agree with me. He's willing to change, yes, but then does the change happen very abruptly? Sometimes they do struggle with the craving. They'll go hide in the bushes, in the toilets, they'll go in secluded places. They'll try really to cope, and sometimes it gives them a hard time. So in summary, I've talked about the steps of adopting to new ideas and practices, whereby it's within the process of health education. And you've said with this, it's just the dissemination of scientific knowledge so that people can change their attitudes and practices after acquiring the knowledge. So with the steps you've said, number 1 is what? Awareness. Number 2, interest. Number 3, evaluation. Number 4, trial. And then lastly, adoption. Now, we have contents of education that we need to cover. You want maybe to go educate people as a community health practitioner. What are you going to teach them on? What are you going to measure on? What are you going to emphasize on? So one of the contents of health education is what? Nutrition. And that is why you'll find there's a lot of information on nutrition that we've covered through this program on community health, diploma in community health. And by now, I know you are well informed. There's also information on health habits, personal hygiene, safety rules, basic knowledge of disease and preventive measures, mental health, proper use of health services, education, special education for groups, that is for food handlers, occupation, school health, etc. Then principles of health, lifestyle, e.g. sleep and exercise. By the way, how long are you supposed to sleep? For at least how many hours? And what about exercise? Let me know when you meet in our class about how many hours you need to sleep. Yeah. Okay. Lastly, we want to look at the principles of health education. What governs health education? What are the laid down strategies for appropriate or proper health education? One is interest, whereby it's in improving. The people have to have an interest in improving their own living conditions. Also, it's based on felt needs of the community. So you go with the interest, whereby you would want to help people change their attitudes and practices, whereby now they'll improve their own living conditions. And here we base on the real needs of these people rather than the felt needs. Yes, we have the felt needs, what people feel like is the problem, but after you prioritize them, the top on the list will be the real needs of these people, of which we'll be able to handle. Then participation, always encourage the people to participate based on active learning. So help people, call out names, as to educate them, assuming it's a group, because with health education, mostly likely to have groups, the group counseling or the group education. So as you teach them, keep mentioning names. Yeah, the lady in green, yeah, gentleman in brown, if you don't know their names, but if you know their names, call out, John, what do you have to say about this? Abraham, what about you? Kezia, what about you? And you, James, so that you encourage cooperation and active learning amongst the people that you're educating. Then the motivation. In motivation, is there a change in their student behaviors? You keep motivating them, you keep encouraging them. Let them know that this is not quite at all order. Let them know it is not too difficult or complex. Let them know that it is not, a do or die thing, but it's important for them to do whatever that is to be done. Then comprehension. Try to find out if people have comprehended in what you've taught them. In health education, one must know the level of understanding the teaching is directed. Use words which can be understood. So if you're teaching young children, you can't use very complex words. Use words that can easily be understood by this given group of children. Remember again, the language we use, and choose sharing among them. Sharing is a slang, yes, that you can use it amongst the youthful population, especially depending on the setup like the Eastlands in Kenya. I think that is where most young people really use a lot of slang. So if you do that, you'll really blend with them. You'll really help drive the point home. You'll really help them move with you within that concept that you are teaching, or rather that particular session on health education. So you look at the group. Is it literate? Is it illiterate? Is it semi-literate? Know your group so that you can be able to tell how much are they able to comprehend what them. Are they able to really understand? Is there a problem? So they're also able to flex a bit and know whether to use Swahili language, whether to use English, and if it's a certain community with a specific vernacular language, and that is more understandable to them, and probably are speaking the same vernacular language, just speak it because you want to educate them, you want them to know how to you are educating them on. Then proceeding from the known to unknown. So when you start teaching them, always proceed from the known to unknown. Start talking about like hand washing. Talk about, ask them, do you wash hands? How do you wash hands? Let someone come demonstrate how they do wash hands. And from there, help them know that, you know what, hand washing should be done with running water, because also you will find in villages and with will I say stagnant water, standing water, maybe in a container like in a basin or in a bucket. Yeah, they wash from there, they pour it out, and then they rinse still water within that container that has dirt and accumulated maybe some scum around it. So it's always important to help know that it's always good to tilt like the basin or use a jug or something, a container to pour water. Someone could help, or them themselves can pour it on themselves as they wash. Then talk about possibility of using ashes instead of using soap. In case there is no soap, what else should they do to help prevent the germs? They can use ashes. Sometimes lemon is useful. It can help prevent germs. Yeah. So help them from known to unknown, whatever they know. Help them to get to the known. Talk about issues to do with like water hygiene in terms of water safety, drinking water. How do they handle it from the sources where they have fetched it, whether it's the tap, whether it's the river, whether it's the springs, you know, help them to know. Then enforcement through repetition. Always repeat, emphasize, reinforce through repetition, especially on the points that are so crucial and you really want like them to understand them and run with them, or rather those I want that you want them to really gain knowledge about and change their attitude and practice. Emphasize through that repetition. Then use different methods. You can use role plays, you can use skits, you can use the normal teaching method, almost like lecture. You can use that is health education by involving group. You can use dramatization. Yeah, try to vary the methods in which you do your presentations. Then have a good human relation. Smile at people, talk with them, associate with them. Just go to the community now and you start telling them, you know, I've come here, najua mko na mashida mingi. Yeah, so hizo shida zenu tungetaka kutatua. Hapana, it's not always good to make them feel like they have many problems or they're a burden to other people, or the problems are burdensome. No, help them know that you are part of them. So utasema, you know, you'll say, I know we are having challenges. Put yourself there. Najua tuna mambo mengi ambayo labda yanatusumbua, lakini tungependa tuone kama tunaweza tatua. We would like to find solutions to this, and together we shall be able to overcome. And as we talk that way, people will embrace this and they'll even on this given project, they'll feel like this is ours. But you go there and you tell them, you know, nyinyi watu mko na mambo mengi na tungependa na kuja kuwachimbia borehole, you know, we are coming to drill this borehole and it will be help to you so that you can have water around you. You know, they'll just feel like, yes, it's water, but then those will feel like there's no problem. We can still go to the rivers we've been always going. This thing is not ours. Ni yake, you know. Then people knowledgeable, attractive, and media acceptable. Let people be knowledgeable and find out what also they're knowledgeable about, so that you present facts that are attractive and make the media acceptable. Whatever mode of presentation you're using, whether using pamphlets, whether using the skits, let it be acceptable within that community. Let it not be something that would start raising out, bring barriers to your health education. Then learning by doing. It is said that if I hear, I forget. If I see, I remember. If I do, I know. So every time you just hear, you are likely to forget. But when you see, you are likely to remember. You'll be like, yeah, I remember this and this and this. When I see her, or when I see him, I remember that she said 1, 2, 3. I remember that I'm supposed to do 1, 2, 3. Then when I do, if I do, I know. So by doing, you know. As you keep doing, you know, like the CBC right now is there's a lot of involvement in terms of doing. As I do, I know. The understanding is able, you may, but then you're able to understand something. You're able to explain a concept. You're able to discuss it. You're able to see the fruits, or rather the outcomes out of that given action. Then aspect on this is motivation, and this is awakening the desire to know and learn. Awakening the desire to know and learn. Awakening the desire to know and learn. Motivation. Of course, we had already mentioned earlier as a principle that it's more of a desire to change in their minds and behaviors. So motivation, Bado, it is awakening the desire to know and learn. And here we look at the primary motives like inborn desires like hunger, sex, etc. We also look at the secondary motives, that is desires created by incentives such as praise, love, recognition, and competition. So today was a day that we were focusing on this health education, and basically we've looked at the second topic, which is health education, and I've introduced to us what health education is. Can you remember what is health education? Yeah, we've given about 3 definitions, and the major thing that will stand out of all of them is that there's the aspect of promotion, maintenance, and restoration of health. And the key thing, we've looked at it as being a combination of any planned learning opportunities in facilitating, enhancing, and maintaining health. We've also looked at the quality of a good health educator. Now, by those qualities, do you measure yourself as a good health educator? Do you term yourself as a good health educator, or you need some styling up? Yeah, where there's need, please style up. We're going to talk to people. You need to be audible. You need to be a good communicator. You need to be understanding. Yeah, you need to be passionate about everything that you do. They can see that passion and they can help you. So that as you're self-driven, they'll give you an easy time. We've also looked at health versus health promotion, and we've differentiated the two in terms of their definition and what they focus on. And an emphasis has been laid on the fact that health education is the primary and dominant measure in health promotion. So we've said, show me your health promotion issues, what you've been doing as a health promotion activity, and ask you to show health education, your activities that had been planned, that were designed and focused on facilitating voluntary adaptation of behavior that are conducive to health. We've also managed to look at the aims of health education today, and we've looked at them 10 in number, and I've broken them down as I've explained what each one of them would mean. And with all those aims, that shows us that as a health educator, it's important to keep your focus on what is expected in terms of promoting health, preventing diseases, and also restoring health, or rather maintaining health. We've looked at the process of health education, whereby we looked at steps that are involved, whereby we get new ideas and practices and we need to adopt them. So we've looked at those 5 steps of health, the process of health education. We've also managed to look at the contents of health education and the principles of self-education. So if you have any questions concerning this work, kindly let me know as you engage in the live class as per your availability. But all our live classes will be recorded, and your attendance is also very crucial. Every time you attend class, your attendance carries a percentage of marks, which will be summed up to your overall grade. So kindly take seriously our classes. I know you could be working, but just create some time for this. We shall try to flex as much as we can, at the same time, the best that we can. So together, I know that we shall achieve more because we are a team. I wish you well, and see you in the next class. Thank you. Yeah, bye.